And Alistair, if you can have a look at our Facebook page, I think we're
just loading just now. That it says we're live.
Happening now, live.
Yep, just popped up on my screen.
Excellent. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. Here we go. And I'm just gonna. Here we go. No. Here we go. That's it. Yes, 10 o'clock. Here we go. And we're live on Facebook. And hopefully there's some people listening, watching even. So good morning, different time. So we might have a different audience actually than the afternoon audience. The afternoon audience might still be lying in bed.
I was going to say we'll catch out everyone that's having a long lie.
Yeah, exactly. Week 7 of AskTuminds and probably week 10 of not having had a haircut. So I think it's starting to show a little bit now. Oh, it's the other way around. Gee, yeah, definitely.
I quite like it. I think you've gone for the struggling artist look.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that was a
nice way to start.
I mean, your hair looks pretty good, pretty trim, and
oh, hey, I can't complain. I've got a hairdresser at home.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And Emma always looks lovely. Here we go.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, I had to grow out my fringe, but not attempting to cut my fringe myself.
Very good. Well, welcome back again. The usual team, Alistair, Emma, and myself. Fiona had to go out for shopping, so at some point, I know some people have been asking for, can we see Fiona as well? Fiona will make an appearance at some point, but also she might be still being in the background looking at some questions, as I know Alistair will do as well. So we already, Emma every week makes a lovely list about the questions that came in over the week after our last AskTuminds. So we're going to start with them, and no doubt in the meantime people will start asking questions live as well. I don't know if I'll just see if I can take this out and
a quick hello to Hazel and John who have joined us.
Hey, Hazel and John, the regulars. They're awake. Excellent. I'm just going to put the Tuminds Facebook page up so I can see the questions as well. Welcome, John and Hazel. It's always good to have you here. I know Hazel has been asking some questions actually. So here we go, happening now. Excellent, great stuff. And I think actually the first question that came in after last week's was actually Hazel's points about when you write a post and want to tag someone, and I know Hazel wanted to tag Alistair and myself in the post. When it came up, I tagged you in, but when I posted it, your names were no longer highlighted, so no longer blue. People couldn't click on it. There could be a couple of reasons actually. The tagging, and Alistair knows as well, it always comes up in the Facebook workshops and webinars that we're delivering now about the tagging. And I've noticed it a couple of times myself as well, is if you want to tag businesses, obviously, most of the time it works, not all of the time though. And even if you want to tag multiple businesses, at some point it seems to stop after number 4 or 5 or something. However, when you want to tag people in your post on your page, that can only be if people commented on one of your posts. You can't, because a business page doesn't have any friends, real friends, like on your personal account. On your personal account, you can tag in your friends if they allowed it, and that usually works. However, if you tag a friend and it shows blue and then you post it, it might be because of that friend has disabled the tagging, or they needed to review, so they will get the notification you've been tagged in a post. Is this okay to share on your timeline in that sense? So these are the things that could have influenced that, and I've noticed that myself as well. So if I'm not sure, Hazel, where you wanted to post that's link, or that's,
actually noticed Rennie, it was on the 8th, I want to say, because I've got the post open. She's tagged Tuminds as a business as well, and that is clickable.
And then,
Just
yeah,
tagged
he tagged
the
in
two of
Tuminds.
us personally, and then the business as well.
All right. Okay. Excellent. So the tagging, indeed, Hazel, I hope that that makes sense. If you, we noticed that as well. I mean, last week when it was my birthday, and thank you everybody who commented on the. It was very lovely. It was very nice. Don't get me wrong. But what I ended up doing actually was first responding to the lovely happy birthday messages on my personal account. Thank you very much, and blah blah blah. Then I had to go to the Facebook page to respond to that as well, and then I had to go to LinkedIn on my messages. There were another sort of messages, so I felt really well looked after and thought of. So thank you very much for that as well. But what I noticed on the Tuminds Facebook page is when I responded to all those people that wished me happy birthday, I tagged in all of them. And it became blue, but some of them didn't become blue afterwards, and that's because their privacy setting is such that they want to review a post that they've been tagged in, and that sits in the settings. So I'm happy to share a screen for you so you can see it. Here we go. I'll move this to the side. So if you go to your privacy settings, or arrow down settings, and then the tagging sits here, is timeline and tagging. So this is for your personal account. Here's the bit about tagging. Who can see the post that you've been tagged in, and you can change that obviously. Here we go. I'm okay for friends to see that, but here this is the review bit. And that's where you can sort of, for me, it's disabled. I'm okay with it. But if you enable it, what some people have done, they will get a message from Facebook to say, you've been tagged. Is this okay to share on your timeline or something like that? And anything to add to that, Alistair? Or
no, completely covered. What I was going to say though is I've loaded the analytics for your birthday post.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just going to actually touch on. It's a little bit of a segue off from what we're talking about, but it goes back to some of the content we've discussed previously on these AskTuminds sessions, and it's about adding that kind of personality or personal kind of content as well. And the reason that I was just bringing up the birthday one was purely because of the volume of interaction that kind of went through in the post. So it ended up finishing with, I want to say, about 107 comments and 113 interactions, as in likes, loves, etc.
Yeah.
So I was just going to kind of just reinforce what we've previously said, is don't forget to add that kind of personal touch, because those kind of posts go a lot further.
Absolutely. Yeah, we say it every time at workshops, you know, it's when we look at the data as well, you know, the personal types of content are much better received than anything else. When it's someone's birthday, when someone has been for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years at the business, someone has their anniversary or whatever, it's that personal bit that really works. And in the meantime, I've got the chat on as well, so I can see Hazel, morning. John says morning from Orkney. Excellent. Good to see John there as well. Vivian, hi Vivian. Nice start of the day, indeed. Coffee time. Hazel, and that's it. Yeah, perfect. So hopefully, Hazel, that makes sense. It's not you. It happens sometimes when what I explained earlier. You know, if for the tagging in that bit, especially when it's a Facebook page, the tagging is limited in that sense. Cool. Okay. This might actually probably Emma knows come from Hazel as well. Google My Business.
Yes, that was from Hazel too.
Hazel?
I think.
Okay, cool. Hazel is making fantastic use of the and Diva has joined. Whoa,
oh, and George as well.
And
Morning,
George,
guys.
oh, George, excellent.
Morning.
We were a bit worried if the afternoon people might still be in bed at 10 o'clock in the morning, but no, they're up. Excellent, very good. So I'm just going to read the question, and then we'll come back to it. Hazel says, I've been updating a few things on Google My Business and wondered if you could cover a bit more. I wonder about paying for an ads on Google My Business. Is it worth it? And does updating Google My Business all the time and adding posts really help in the ratings with Google? And with your website, and how does that maybe compare to Facebook or Instagram, for example? And then she apologized for too many questions in one sentence, but that's we can deal with that. Google My Business, definitely useful to update it regularly. And actually, when you have Google My Business on your phone, it will actually remind you, hey, it's been a while ago since you've posted a post or a photo. And that's what Google likes to see, more activity on your Google My Business. I'll see if I can share my screen again, just to give you an insight into Google My Business. I've looked at, you also mentioned ads, Google My Business ads, and I guess you mean with that the Google ads, because Google My Business in itself doesn't have any ads. So I'll share the screen. Here we go. And pick that one. So just to show you the dashboard, and I will also show you what it looks like when people do a search. And it's indeed that bit for people who are not quite sure, but I'm sure we've got all people who've been on courses. they probably heard of Google My Business. So this bit on the right-hand side, that's the Google My Business. And the annoying thing is that what we discovered as well, that's very often now, although you've claimed it, it will say, own this business, which is a bit annoying. Over here, you can see the products and the post that we've created. And this is interesting because I have created the post. So this is my Google My Business. This is the Tuminds Google My Business. And here you can, and sorry, Elsa, I had to cut you off because of the size of the image.
Oh,
Fine.
no.
Fine.
You look shocked.
I'll just head off.
Yeah. So the image size was a bit too big for Google My Business. So this I posted it 40 minutes ago.
Oh, Alistair.
That's fine. That's fine.
And yeah, and interestingly enough, you've got your the new things, the COVID-19, obviously, the support. So you can ask people for a gift card or a donation link to support small business, and you can do that with PayPal or GoFundMe and all things. So it's a lot more functionality since a couple of months ago. The update is more for updating your opening times, which obviously is going to change probably in the next couple of weeks, months. So, you know, if you have limited opening times coming up, you can change that in there. So that will be updated on your Google My Business page. And you can add an offer or an update. And this is something we've done with an offer. And also, I actually had to probably better off creating it as an event because that's more an event than an update. And that should actually be listed here on the aspect. It's also good to update photos, and that's why I recommend installing Google My Business on your phone, because most of your photos that you will take will probably be from your phone, and then it's an easier way to upload photos. And it's, you know, you get a nice selection. You can update photos of the interior. Remember those days, guys?
Oh.
The office?
I know.
Oh, seems a long way.
It does.
The exterior, here we go. At work, oh, look at that, look at that. The team, and we should actually, we have lots more people of the team.
Yeah, so we should probably update that.
And then the branding there as well. So you can upload, and should upload regular sort of photos, just to keep it fresh in that sense. And the reason why it's important, and I can't emphasize that enough, if people do a search of your business, They won't see this. This is only visible to me because I'm the admin. But you know, page 1 of Google is where reputations are made and broken. And very often, when people do a search on Google, which a lot of people do, obviously, on a daily basis, people get a good feeling about the business even before they they clicked on the website. So you've got reviews there. This looks very impressive. We love our coffee, and then you get the website and all the other stuff, and here ratings on Facebook as well. So you know, we at Tuminds are big fans of social media. However, Google still drives most of the traffic to your website. So manage your reputation on Google, and the best way of doing that is indeed through Google My Business. I would definitely recommend it. You've got products.
I think it's sorry, I was going to say, I think it's good that Hazel asked that, because from when I've done workshops and things, people quite often don't realize that they can claim it and manage it. And I think, was it you, Rennie, that said that people now, when they're doing a search, they're getting all the information they need from the Google listing, so they're not even going into the website. So like,
well, Alistair knows as well. Yeah, because Alistair, remember last year August, I think, Turing Festival.
Turing,
One of the speakers there worked for Yoast, our favorite SEO plugin for WordPress, and he mentioned that I think it was 47 or 48% of searches that are now being done on Google are not resulting in a click to a website, because people find the information that they're looking for, the telephone number, the address, and all that sort of stuff, on the right-hand side of the Google search page in that sense. And you know, you can see a lot of events even. So when people are organizing events, or businesses organizing events, the events are integrated even before, not before, but even if the business owner didn't add the event themselves, they've taken that, Google has taken that from Eventbrite or other sort of platforms, Facebook events and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, definitely a good thing to maintain.
Yeah, and even like, well, going back to when things were a bit more normal, but before the COVID thing, we were, I always used to tell people the example of somebody that had looked up, gone to the Google listing, and how people take that information. If it's not up to date, they think that is up to date, and then go to visit attractions and they're closed. And
absolutely,
it's so important to keep it up to date.
And you know, the funny thing is, no doubt everybody that's listening or watching and everything is very involved in Facebook groups. You know, in one of the groups is Inverness Takeaway, for example, where lots of people are sharing messages about which takeaway is, which restaurant is doing takeaways and all that sort of stuff. But and there's lots of other very good groups as well. But I noticed a couple of questions where people say, "Hey, are they open?" If I look on Google, it says they're open.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure. People assume it's because of page 1 of Google. It's the truth.
Yeah.
So I hope Hazel doesn't mind. Well, too late.
Hope she doesn't mind, but here it is.
So Hazel Passport Jewelry, even before I go to your website, I already have a very good impression. To Google reviews, the street view, I know that street very well because our offices used to be on top of that as well, in that same street. To Google reviews, some photos, and here it says, I know you've claimed your business, but it still says own your business, and that came about a couple of weeks ago, I think, because Emma does a lot of sort of digital audits for businesses, and they say we always keep a note on which business has claimed their business, and all of a sudden a lot of businesses were not claimed. And when I spoke to the business, they said, no, we have claimed it, but it still says that. Doing some research, actually Google wants to make it easier for people to claim the business, and now they've put that in. I don't think it's the best way of doing it, but it's that's what it is. Oh, here we are. Hazel has put the COVID-19 update. Very good. You know, you're closed. This is the telephone number, email address, and all this sort of stuff, and the products as well. Yeah. So Hazel, coming back to your question. Yes, definitely important to have regular updates on Google My Business. You know, as you know, we always said, if you have nothing to say, don't say it. So you know, it's make it worthwhile, make it good content, because that's obviously better. If you have events, put it on events. Events will stay on for as long as the event has not passed. So if you have an event come on in August or September, feel free to put that on. It stays on till August or September. Updates stay on for 7 days, and then they won't be deleted, but they will not be visible on that thing. However, Google will still have access to that. Google will still index it.
One of the questions that's just come in just off the side, Rennie, just while you're talking, from Captain's Rest in Skye.
Oh, yeah.
Can your Facebook reviews connect to your Google reviews?
Short answer is no, because it's different platforms. However, on Google, Google will integrate Facebook reviews into the first page of Google, and even on the bit on the right hand side as well. Sometimes, so there is a sort of I wouldn't call it integration in that sense, but Google will definitely index Facebook reviews in that sense, but you can't really connect them. But I've seen it a lot where if you look at Google My Business, you see Google reviews, but you also tend to see Facebook reviews at the bottom of these things. Yeah,
you sometimes see TripAdvisor reviews pop into it as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, TripAdvisor, indeed. Yeah, same thing. So Captain's Rest in Skye. Hopefully we can visit you soon again, and hope that answers your questions. I mentioned asking for recommendations. Some people ask for them, but I would find it really difficult. Yeah. Okay. I hear that a lot. People find it difficult to ask for recommendations. It might be. I always said at workshop, might be a British thing. People are Americans are quite happy with that, probably over the top with these things. But you know, it depends how you ask it, I think. And when we deliver LinkedIn workshops, Alistair did a LinkedIn webinar last week, and no doubt would have mentioned it as well. You know, if you're asking for recommendations, personalize it. Don't just use the standard LinkedIn. Would you like to recommend me, or something in those words? I think what's important is to personalize this. You know, I hope you enjoyed because the persons you're going to ask for recommendations is person that have bought from you, use your services. So a perfect way to come back to them to say, hope you enjoyed your ring, your jewelry, or whatever. You know, if you want some tips on how to take care of jewelry, here is our blog post about how to clean rings or whatever. You know, get some linking back to your website, and it would really help us if you write a short review on Facebook or Google. And then I think the crucial thing is don't just ask it, give them the link. And that's very important. I'm just going to show you where that sits before I. Yeah, there we go. So if we ask people to write a review on Tuminds, don't just give them. Oh yeah, and just a quick link as well. It's a bit of a pet hate of me actually, but. Don't give them this link, ref is bookmarks, because that's code that's been added to the URL. You don't need that stuff. So I always go back and delete it until the question mark. That is the link, but don't give them that link, because that goes to the Facebook page. And then people, not everybody understands where to write a review, and they might do it here, but that moves away. Actually, I should. Hazel is going to get. Maybe we can do Hazel as our sponsor for this week. Actually, pages.
It's HP Jewelry for the page.
Oh yeah, HP Jewelry. Here we go. Phew, I've already liked it. Lovely pictures, lovely, nice, looks good. Don't give them this link, because then people might write something here. Although, hey, I see I'm not able to post on your page. That's interesting. No. Give them a link here. And again, take away the question mark. So that's the link that you should be sharing with them, because then people go to this page, not to the home page, but to the review tab. And that's where people can, would you like to recommend, which we will. And yeah, you definitely need, if the most recent was last year, then you definitely need to ask people, Hazel, you make beautiful jewelry. Ask people for a review, give them this link, and do that in a personalized way. You know, it would really help us if you write a review, because you know that's what people find important. You do it in your own ways, of course. But yeah, that's I think the best way of doing it. For Google My Business, you do that in here. It's even easier. In Google My Business, you go to your dashboard and what is it? Get more reviews, share review form, and that's the link. Yeah. You can even take out the question mark if you want. Oh. But that's the link to share. You can share that via email, Facebook, WhatsApp, or Twitter, or copy it and put it in an email or a message yourself. So hopefully that answers your question, Hazel. Anything to add, guys, about the reviews? Nope. Do you respond yourself, Emma? Do you look at the reviews?
Oh yeah, if I like personally, I don't really buy anything without looking at reviews. So yeah, I was just going to say how important they are to yeah, to potential customers.
Everybody, oh, Nikki Bar, hey. And Scott. Yeah, oh, they're woken up, guys. Welcome to the new time of 10 o'clock. Yeah, totally right, Emma. I think everybody here is doesn't have to be a huge investment. You know, Amazon is a good example. You know, if I have an interest in a product, and I'm sure everybody's the same as well, you know, you look at 4 or 5 star sort of products, not at 1 or 2 star or even 3 star products. And every product that I now buy on Amazon has that little card.
Yeah.
You know, it's if something is not right, let us know. If you're happy about this product, write a review on Amazon, because you know that reviews is marketing in a sense. Alistair, have you bought something that was a 1-star article?
No. Oh, how dare you insult me? No, realistically, if anything's kind of sitting around a 3, I'm even kind of skeptical as to whether I should take it or not.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I see Hazel has responded. Yes, very helpful. No, it's you know, reviews is what sells a product, a service, and it's comparable to word of mouth advertising. You know, it's if a friend of you recommends a hotel, a restaurant, an accountant, a public speaker, Nikki Marr has arrived. You know, you trust that person, and you take action on that. You know, you believe if a friend has a good experience with a product or a service, then you trust that. Let's put it that way. The problem now is, or not the problem, the beauty now is that for businesses, people trust people that have never met before, but they've left a recommendation. I have to say that the last article I bought, I'm doing a little bit of DIY in the house, terrible, and I have bought one of the stud finders.
Oh, nice.
I'm afraid of drilling into a water pipe or electricity. Oh no, my luck. With DIY, so I bought one of those things, and when it came in a cute little box, a nice little card, same thing, you know, if you're not happy, let us know. If you're happy, please write a review. And I think it's a bit too pushy, but they actually said if you leave a review, we'll send you a free and I can't even remember what it was. So sort of a level, a free laser level or something like that. I haven't written a review, and I question for the Facebook page. We all respond to reviews. How many people have written a review?
I was just about to say, I am really bad at writing reviews, even for things that I absolutely love. I don't know why.
And what would that change if you were to get an email or a message from the owner to say, "Hi Emma, I hope you enjoyed your product."
Yes, and do you know when I would probably do it? Like, I bought a new printer. I wouldn't really do it for that, but for a small business, like I bought my daughter a t-shirt from a shop on Instagram that I follow, and it's just, you know, a mum making these t-shirts. I would probably more likely do it for her than it would probably depend on the business. But yeah, I'd probably try and help the small businesses, especially if they emailed me.
That reminder I think is very important, because you know I'm the same. You know, I respond to reviews, but do I write reviews? Not many actually. Alistair, yourself?
I went through a phase where when we were traveling quite a lot, Rennie, that I used to always do TripAdvisor reviews.
Oh yeah.
And I would say in the last probably year, I've kind of dropped the ball with reviewing anything in general. I don't know if it's been, maybe this might highlight that I buy a lot of things from the likes of Amazon, but the whenever you buy something from Amazon, you get that email where it's like, how would you rate the product? And to me, that just goes straight to bin. Even though, as Emma kind of touched on, the product's great and I'll use it and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if I've kind of dropped the ball, as I say, a little bit with it, but I'm in a very similar boat to Emma. If it was a small business, for some reason in my head, I would just do it.
Absolutely.
Somehow with like big retailers, I don't need to review that.
Absolutely. No, especially now, I think there's a lot of love and support for small businesses that are really struggling, you know, so people, but they need that reminder. Not many people will do it out of their own to do it, you know, and so they need that reminder. And I love Martin from Shetland's response to my question. I hereby promise to write a review for Tuminds. Martin, you're a star. And Hazel says, I'll email Emma. And Bonnie has joined. Welcome, Bonnie. And there's people that Vivian, hi Jane, Jane joined as well, fantastic, especially for the Google information, which good to hear you find that useful. Vivian says as well, you know, only if it's really exceptional, then the same thing. And I remember from my hotel days as well, you know, the amount of people that left and we went out of our way to give them a good time, and sometimes I thought, wow, these people really are going to write to TripAdvisor, and they never did. And I was really disappointed until it happened to me. Actually, I was in Edinburgh, had a lovely stay, and I said the same thing at checking out. You know, if I come home, I'll write a review for you. I still haven't done it, and the reason was quite simple, because 3-4 hours later you come back in the hotel. There's all sorts of things happening. The hotel experience is completely forgotten. But you know, if that business, and that's what Booking.com does as well. Apologies for people in the hospitality sector by mentioning Booking.com, but you know, they do that really well. A day later, 2 days later, after you had your visit, they send you a reminder. And very often, I have to say, I did write a reminder because I had a good experience and I wanted to support those businesses.
I actually, on that note, Booking.com ones I normally do as well, and I don't know if it's the same with you, Rennie, but it's the simplicity of the form. Booking, you can do a Booking.com review really quick.
Really quick,
and that's one of the in my head's beauty of it, is that I get the email on my phone, tick that. If I want to add more, I can. If not, you can almost pick from 0 to 5 a score for different things, and you can move on. And I suppose sometimes people almost assume that writing a review actually takes quite a bit of time, whereas it doesn't always have to.
Funny, probably too much information, but I was in bed last night. Oh yeah. On my mobile phone, Pam is looking at me with horror. On my mobile phone, And one of the because it was my birthday last week, Pam organized a lovely Chinese, a very good Chinese takeaway, yummy house in Inverness, and it came up on my newsfeed, yummy house, and I thought, I didn't write a review, so I thought I'm going to write a review now. So I went to the page. Would you recommend? Yes, and then it asks you for can you write at least a 25-character description about your experience. So I actually said, yep, it was very tasty, excellent quality, very tasty, highly recommend, something like that. And I posted it. This morning, I noticed some people recommended on my post, and they said, what are you talking about? What happened was, instead of putting it on the review page of that page, I just posted it to my friends. Very high quality, very tasty. So I had to delete it. So right. Things can go wrong. Things can go wrong. Let's see. Martin says, Martin, who promised to write a review, says, it's Risco, you have no idea what I might say. True, Martin. But again, coming back to that point, is even if it's negative, you can turn a negative into a positive. Yeah. And I've seen, especially in TripAdvisor, many good, excellent responses actually on negative reviews from the business owner. And you know, I actually think that makes a negative a positive, because the way the business owner responded. And I think the complaint in itself, because you know, you can offer a fantastic service, a fantastic product. Things will go wrong at some point, but it's the recovery. I think that's important. It's the responding to it, responding to good reviews, but also to bad reviews, and trying to make it a positive way in the way it responds. I've also seen business owners that turn a negative review into a double negative by the way they responded. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's and I've been there myself. You know, if something happens, you're on this line on the keyboard, sleep over it, think about the response, because your response is on TripAdvisor the last bit that people see, because on TripAdvisor the customer gets an opportunity, and then the business owner gets an opportunity to respond. That's it, end the story. On Facebook, obviously, that can turn into a yes, no, and yes, no. Try to avoid that. If you get a negative review, and it will happen at some point, you know, have a look at it. If you messed up, be honest. You know, we messed up. Totally sorry. Get in touch with us, or we'll get in touch with you and respond to everything. But show people that you care. I think that's important in that sense. I see that Ross has joined and Kathy has joined. Hi, Kathy. For the first few years, I ran my B&B, made myself specifically ask guests to write a TripAdvisor review as they left. I was really hard asking them face to face, but it worked. I really got my number of reviews up. Absolutely. You know, it's if you don't ask, you don't get. And that's what we started to do in our hotel as well. Instead of fingers crossed, hope people will write a review, take action. And create a sort of, I wouldn't say a template, but create a sort of snippet of text that you can send out quite easily to customers, make it personable, because that's what I see on TripAdvisor as well. You know, thank you very much for your 5-star review. We hope to see you again in the near future. Thank you very much for your 5-star. That doesn't bring out your personality. You know, it's try to sort of personalize it in that sense. Lovely to see your dog. Hope you're staying in Scotland. I know you went to Skye afterwards. Hope you had a great stay in Skye. And all. Trying to personalize it in that things is really, really important to bring out the personality on the reviews in that sense. The captain rest in Skye. I left a review the other day and predictive text got in the way. Instead of saying I was in lockdown, it went smoothly. It said I was in lockdown. It went smoothly. Let's see.
Oh, that's the same thing twice.
That's the same thing twice.
So what was it meant to say?
Predictive text might have done it again.
Yeah.
And joined. Hi, Anne. How are you? Jane, as an Airbnb host, I have written a personal review for every single guest. Yeah. Wow. 750 of them. Well done. and they've done the same for me. However, I have only written a few for products. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do the same thing. You know, I bought a lot of stuff online, didn't write reviews, although I'm very happy with it. I mean, but I can't emphasize it enough. Ask people for a review. Have an easy form or an easy link, an easy snippet of text. You know, you don't have to think about. Just send that out very quickly after purchase. You know, give it 1 or 2 days. But then ask people for a review. It's incredibly important. Ness Valley, hi guys. On the Facebook business page, is there a logical location to go to if I want to find my business pages? Yes, Emma knows.
Yeah, we did this. This came up recently, didn't it?
Yeah. Let's see if I can share. You see yourself again now. So if I go here and to the business page, yeah, they moved that actually, and a lot of people have been asking that question: where is my business page feed? Because the news feed is obviously updates from friends and businesses that I follow, but the business page feed, so the feed of businesses that you've liked, is now more or less a little bit hidden here. See pages feed. And that's where you will see not the feed, the news feed of the updates of your friends, but the updates of the businesses that you've liked as the business. Yeah. So that's what that does. So it's been hidden a bit under. You go to your page, and where is it now? Oh, here, there we go. See pages feed. That's what it says. Yep. So hopefully that helps. Ness. What's that again? Ness Valley. Okay. There we go. Sally. Hello. How are you? Likewise for my Airbnb guests, Airbnb making it very easy. Yeah, what I love, and I've done Airbnb as well. We did it for a while, and I love Airbnb actually because their systems are fantastic. It's not just because that's been the comment of B&B owners and hotels. You know, TripAdvisor. Yes, customers can rate us, but we can't rate the customers. On Airbnb, you can actually review your customers, and that works pretty good actually. I'll flip.
Yeah, I was trying not to laugh when I saw that come in.
Captain's rest is coming back to say it said, I wax. Yeah, things can go wrong indeed, like I discovered yesterday as well. Kathy has been in the B&B industry as well. Negative TripAdvisor reviews are super painful, but they also are an opportunity to respond positively. Absolutely right. And get messages about your business across. I mean, you know, every B&B owner or hotel owner, when you check into the room, seems like ages ago, Alistair, that we checked into a B&B or a hotel.
Oh yeah.
You know, you've got this little card, hope you enjoyed your stay, and can you fill in this card? You know, we're all keen to get feedback, but you know, these cards, they are only visible to you. And again, I take it you're having these cards because you want to improve, you know, and it's I remember from my hotel base as well, you know, it's these little things. I remember we had those cards, and could you make any suggestion to make your stay better? And sometimes people came back, well, you know, a sort of a coat hanger or at the back of the door to hang up your bathrobe would be useful. And why didn't I think of that? You know, and that's the sort of comments you're gonna get. You know, people might love your product, but they're missing things that they wouldn't say to you face to face, but they can do that on a card. And I think that's what negative reviews are like as well. It's an opportunity. I know this sounds sort of, but it's an opportunity to improve in that sense, because every good business wants to deliver, wants to improve on their service delivery. And the best way to do that is to ask your customers. And yes, there is a risk that people might say something that you don't like, but be really realistic. You know, is that a fair comment? Then trying to improve on it and thank those people to say thank you so much. We never realized, you know, that was an issue, but thanks for bringing that up and all that stuff. Hey Simon, all well, fantastic. Hey, we got some new people on the call that we haven't had before. Excellent. And Jane says lovely rings, Hazel Passport. They are fantastic, very good. Okay, what have? Oh yeah. So I think that's all the questions we had coming in after AskTuminds week 6. So we're now in week 7. We have some updates and useful links, which I'll let Emma say some words about that as well. I think Instagram has some new stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Instagram have announced that they are they've officially launched the option to share Instagram lives to IGTV. So just too late for us, Alistair. We could have done that the other week.
I know, right? Would have made it so much easier.
I know. I think that's really good because obviously, like, we could have saved it, and uploaded it. But yeah, I think it's a good update. Instagram seem to be having lots of updates, particularly in stories, don't they? At the moment, things are always changing. So we can put the link. I'll put the link in afterwards to that article. And the other one was Messenger Rooms, which we talked about. Was it a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I was going to say 2 weeks ago when it was first announced. I'm sure we
yeah. So now saying that that's been rolled out, but yeah, we haven't tried it out yet. I wonder if anybody else has tried it.
I saw a few people saying that they think it still needs a little bit of work.
Yeah. So what I had heard was that the feedback wasn't overly wonderful to begin with, but yeah, just that it's kind of as it says that it is. It's video calling, but not really competition for Zoom at this stage, and it's not available to Facebook pages at this time either. So we can.
I saw a little bit of speculation that they had launched it because Google had made Google Meet available for everyone. Yeah. So it's almost like, well, Google have pushed their one out, so we need to put our one out now as well.
Yeah, indeed. And I think Instagram, I think you mentioned it last week or even the week before, Emma, about, and I see it more often as well, the sort of support small business.
Yeah, I really like that. I use it myself and I always click in. It tells me when if friends have recommended businesses, and I find it really useful. I think it's a really, really good tool, especially at the moment.
Yeah. And Alistair mentioned Google Meet, I think, as well. So there's for Tuminds, we're using a variety of online communication tools, which is great because, you know, I have to say Zoom is still probably my preferred option in that sense. But last week we did a couple of Google Meets. What I like about Google Meets is you don't have to schedule it. Because, for example, our team meetings, which we do twice a week, for example, which we put in a Google Calendar, and normally I would go to Zoom and then create a meeting and copy that link into an email or a Slack message and all that sort of stuff. Now, when you go to Google Calendar, you create a team meeting event, and that Google Meet button is, they really emphasize that, you know, you can make this a Google Meet. I said, oh, let's try it out. And it worked pretty well, Emma. I think last time.
I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, all these platforms are indeed sort of improving all the time. And I know Zoom got a lot of slack because of the privacy. And that they have stepped up to that as well, you know, responding to the negative comments and sort of improving their security as well.
We actually used Google Meet, for a family quiz on the weekend.
Oh yeah,
which was quite fun. It was just because it was so accessible. Everyone pretty much could access it off a phone or a tablet without having to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Whereby is another one of our favorites, whereby.com, which is very easy. The only limitation is it's for maximum 4 people.
Yeah.
but it's a good way to sort of quickly have an online chat with video and voice without people having to install things on their computer. So it's online. Security is pretty good as well. What's the other one? So, Google Meets. Well, we tried Microsoft Teams. Better not mention that, but not a big
don't mention Microsoft Teams to me.
If people have positive experience with Microsoft Teams, let me know as well. I mean, especially in the business world, it's sort of secure, obviously, and all this stuff, but it's very, very clunky, I have to say. Oh, Martin, my brother has joined. Be careful for the comments. Vivian says, thoughts on Facebook videos, only playing for a short time on newsfeeds, then you have to click through to watch the remainder. I'm not a fan. Oh, and then I moved on. I'm not a fan and rarely click through a video. Worth thinking about from a business promotion point of view. Yeah, video content obviously is getting more and more momentum in this sense, and I can see that as well. And on my phone again, I do look at Facebook videos in a sense, and it's absolutely right. You know, I think the first 5-10 seconds are critical. If I'm going to watch it longer, because if it doesn't entice me the first 5-10 seconds, and probably 10 seconds is sort of the maximum range of that, I'm going to leave because you know it's there's lots of other things to do than watching videos that are not really informative, engaging, or funny in that sense. Emma, any views on that, or Alistair?
I was just going to say the same thing. If it's something that catches my attention like quickly, then I might click through to watch it. But yeah, it's so important, those first few seconds, isn't it? Getting people's attention.
Absolutely. And we recommend it as well. You know, it's now the time to create video content because the beauty of video content, is being pushed up by any social media platform, but also it's content that you can reuse over and over again. And I remember, and I've said it in my presentation as well, a friend of mine, self-catering business in Speyside, created a video about how to use the washing machine, for example. I mean, you can now create lovely videos when the weather is great, nobody's there, you know, you can make wonderful videos that are internal, external, and all that sort of stuff. But also, maybe there are some useful videos that you can, I see a lot of B&B owners actually doing sort of cooking and recipes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, from having worked in self-catering, like with the association before, I was always confused why more accommodation providers didn't do video tours, like because that, and we were saying when I worked there, they were saying it's, you know, usually, not always, but usually the mums that drive the holiday location and the place that you're going, and to show the internal is so important for people making a decision about whether they want to stay there or not. And videos of the exterior as well. I think it is, like you say, it's a good time to do it just now.
Good time to do it. Kathy was asking, what was the problem with Teams? Well, for my case, when I tried it out with Alistair, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we had Microsoft Teams for a long time, but we didn't use it. The video worked, but my voice, I could hear Alistair, but Alistair couldn't hear me. And the weird thing is, then we tried Skype, same problem. Then we tried Zoom, sound worked fantastically. We tried Whereby, the sound worked perfectly. So there must be a setting somewhere, which I still haven't found, which disables my microphone for Microsoft Teams and Skype. Which sort of, bless you. It's live. But that's and Alistair had a client meeting on Microsoft Teams as well last week, and that lady had the same problem as I had, I think. Alistair, right?
Yep. Yeah. It was just like teething problems to get the call going, and you in my head it's probably 10 minutes could be better spent. And it's for me anyways, it's that kind of awkward. You're starting your meeting and you're almost starting with some sort of almost like a negative. Which feels a little bit odd. So it's not that it's a bad platform. I just find it quite easy to use and not quite as intuitive as I expected it to be.
That's what I find. It's not as intuitive as the other platforms.
To me, it feels just like a repackaged Skype.
Excuse me.
Yeah, well, good.
I've got hay fever, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, repackaged Skype is a good description of it. No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Microsoft Teams. It's a very secure and robust platform, but I don't find it intuitive as the other platforms in that sense. So that's what I was, and I've got that with a couple of other Microsoft products as well. But anyway, George says we use. We use Microsoft Teams for large work meetings. It's been very good. Recently updated to show 9 people on screen at once rather than just as 4 as was before. Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. It's a very robust and good platform. But if I have problems, I usually have problems with Skype or Microsoft Teams, which doesn't show up when I use Zoom or Whereby or Google Meet. It's always seems to work. It's very, very intuitive in that sense. But that's the beauty of things. Some people love this platform, works for them, and other people love that. Yeah. Benny, haven't seen you for a long time, Benny. Hope you're okay. Kevin says, oh dear, doesn't sound good. I use it on international calls and all it works fine. If it works fine, perfect. It's a good file sharing platform too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got it installed on the computer here, and I've actually had a chat with a Dutch guy over it as well. So it is good. It's just not my favorite, but I hope that makes sense. That probably came out of it. Cool. Alistair, anything else to add? Did you notice something that's worthwhile to mention, or?
Nothing major. I noticed. I know Emma touched on this already, but Instagram kind of pushing out more and more and more things. I don't know if either of you guys noticed that they've released a series of well-being guides.
Oh, no, I haven't seen them.
I'll maybe share a link in the chat. Again, it's more just about looking after yourself during these kind of times. But I think it's quite nice to see Instagram doing that. Normally, social media platforms get a little bit of stick for the negativity or how it can affect people. And I quite like that Instagram seems to be on top of trying to say, like, look after yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah. Actually, the nice question to ask, and then we'll finish it. Is what's your favorite platform just now to look at? What is the platform that you spend most time on it? Personally, I think Instagram is one of those platforms that I love to see products from small businesses, updates from small businesses as well. But if you have a platform that you really use more than you would normally use before the whole coronavirus. Let us know in the chat. We might feature that next week in that.
I have to admit, from previous AskTuminds, I have now downloaded TikTok.
Oh, excellent!
I'm now losing my life to watching rubbish videos.
I know.
I know you warned me, Rennie. Yeah. I've not posted anything, but the amount of, in my head, random.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick my words carefully. The amount of random rubbish is surprisingly addictive.
Yeah.
It's almost replaced Instagram stories for me at the moment.
Yeah.
And I say it's not that I'm posting anything. It's just random junk TV almost in a way.
Have a look at Cool House.
Hotel.
Cool House Hotel. They're on TikTok as well, and for a long time been saying, TikTok, I'm not seeing the business benefit of it. However, because of the whole coronavirus, people are looking for a little bit of fun, a little bit of entertainment, and I think that's where TikTok does really well. Cool House Hotel do the funny dances.
Actually, they share them on Twitter as well. I saw they had one yesterday.
Yes, that's right.
And it was 3 people dancing in a room. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, Vivian said she's become a novice addict on TikTok as well.
Yeah. Instagram. I have to say I'm using more Instagram as well in that sense. Vivian says Facebook, growing use of Instagram, novice addict on TikTok. Indeed. And Gordon says we use Teams mainly for screen sharing and voice. Not so much for video. I haven't reviewed other apps and reviews. Well, there's it really depends what. Most of the time we use Zoom because I think it's easier. It's secure. You can secure your room. It's encrypted now, and it's easy. It's easy to do. Easy screen sharing. So I had a client yesterday. I did Zoom with. And with another client, I did Whereby. If you can put the link in, Alistair, on Whereby. I think most people will not have heard of Whereby, whereby.com. Very easy to use. We heard it from last year from Chris of Strut, who's using it for the clients, and now we're using it as well.
It's actually got a really nice tablet app. I don't know if you've used it at all already, but the tablet version of Whereby is really nice.
Oh, right.
The only thing it doesn't tell you is if someone's asking for permission to join your room if it's locked.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give you a notification from that side.
No, and that's the important thing. You know, we've all heard about the Zoom bombing, where if you share a link to your Zoom event, Zoom meeting, and you share it publicly on social, you probably get some jokers joining your meeting with not the right intentions in that sense. So first of all, you need to have a waiting room, which I think is now standard when you create.
Yeah, you have to turn it off by default now.
Yeah, and the password is default now as well. So it's better secured as well. So it really depends. I mean, we like to sort of try out different things. So that's why we try out Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Whereby, Google Meet. There was another one that's more for gamers, something that started with a G that I've heard.
Discord.
Yeah. D came up with that from Argyle. So there's a variety of different things, and it's you know, what works best for you. For some people that's Microsoft Teams, for other people that's Zoom, and you know, feel free to use a variety of different things, and use the one that you're most happy with. Cool. We're running over time, guys. So again, a quick hour, I have to say. You know, every week when we have our 5-10 minutes chat before it starts, we're thinking, oh, we might be finished in 20 minutes, but it's never the case. You know, once people are starting. Kathy just say, I must say, I think TikTok just for teenagers, totally. You know, it's for definitely young audience. My son seems to spend their whole lives on it. Yeah. Interesting that places like Cool House are using it. Yeah, wouldn't have thought it was targeted. No, not really. And that's why I'm sort of still doubting the business benefit of TikTok. But it's definitely used for a younger age demographic. But you know, 5 years ago, Instagram was for a young age demographic.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to go the same way. But
so
we'll wait and see.
Yeah. So you know, things will change, but it's definitely the sort of the short video content that I mean, in this, I think coronavirus has helped platforms like TikTok to grow, because you know, people are looking for a little bit of fun, keeping your mind off of stuff, and I think that's definitely what TikTok does. But it's definitely for a younger audience in that sense. George says Instagram is the best and getting better all the time, in my honest opinion. Why is there no native Instagram app for iPad tablets? Yep. And Hazel, thank you very much for your great feedback and to my questions by Google. Excellent. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up. So thank you very much. Next week, I haven't actually looked at the calendar. The reason why we did 10 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock is because on 2 o'clock I'm delivering a webinar on Facebook for Business Gateway. So I didn't want to miss the AskTuminds, so that's why we moved it.
Next Tuesday, you've got a webinar in the morning.
Oh,
I've got 11 in the morning.
You've got a webinar at 11.
Oh yeah, so Tuesday. Back to 2 o'clock then.
Yep.
or I could leave it to you guys.
Oh come on!
No, let's do afternoon.
Cool. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Jane. Thanks for all your positive messages. Great to see you again. In that sense, this I think it's fair to say this AskTuminds was sponsored by Hazel Passmore. Who's been asking great questions and is there every week. So thank you very much for that. Keep in touch. Let us know how things are going, and hope to see you next week again.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them into either our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that at all, so that we've got some stuff for next week as well.
#AskTuminds, one word. AskTuminds, one word. Excellent. Okay, guys, thank you very much.
Take care, guys. See you next week.
Stay healthy.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.